Hi everyone, you have reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a quick story on Erika Jayne. Erika Jayne from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm sure I don't have to tell you this. If you know the name, you already know. Last season on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika, and which was shocking to all, had filed for divorce from her husband of over 20 years, Tom Girardi. And Tom Girardi, soon after we learned, was being accused that he embezzled funds from his law firm, that he broke the terms, the agreement, and the oath of being a lawyer. I want to say he has since his law degree has been snatched and ripped away from him. So imagine your whole entire life. You go to law school, you build up what most see from the outside looking in as a reputable law firm, only to find out in your 80s that you have been allegedly doing some fraudulent things to the point where they snatch away your degree and you're no longer considered a lawyer and you're being sued. So part of the lawsuits that were going on, they ended up connecting and adding Erika Jayne's name to these lawsuits. But as stated in page 6 today, it said Erika Jayne dismissed from embezzlement fraud lawsuit against Tom Girardi. And we'll get into husband and wife situations in 1 second. I just want to read you a couple more things from this particular article from page 6, right? It says the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star has been dismissed from the embezzlement and fraud lawsuit against her estranged husband, Tom Girardi, okay? It says Erika Girardi is dismissed without prejudice and without cause. The January 29th legal documents attained by page 6. The ruling came down after both parties agreed dismissal is appropriate. Jayne's lawyer did not give an immediate response to page 6 to do this article, but it says the Bravo celebrity 50, who is Erika Jayne, and Girardi 82 was sued in December 2020 by Edison PC, a class action firm, on behalf of a number of Boeing plane crash victims for allegedly embezzling settlement funds meant to help the victims of Lion Air Flight 610 per federal court documents, okay? And when Erika filed for divorce in November, and remember the lawsuit came in December, she filed for divorce in November, and people were calling her divorce a sham because they felt like she knew these lawsuits were about to come up and that her and Tom were in cahoots to hide and save whatever they had left, so that when this lawsuit comes about, they won't lose everything. And in the lawsuit, they quoted Erika Jayne's song Expensive and her self-reported claims that it cost $40,000 a month for her glam squad, okay? As reason why they needed to embezzle funds in order to keep up their lavish lifestyle. So Erika Jayne was pissed that people were calling her divorce a sham. And she said in one of her confessionals last season for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she said divorce is very painful. And then having to call the sham is even more painful. Jayne said in a confessional, it took a lot of courage to leave, and it takes 2 seconds for I'm going to change the word jerk, to say it's a sham, and everybody believe it. All right. And then also recently, it was these, earrings, these diamond earrings came up in the news about her receiving these either $750,000, depending upon what report you read, or 1.4 million diamond earrings from her husband, and it says paid for by funds stolen from Girardi's clients, her ex-husband clients. So either way, Erika is now off the hook. And how do I feel about that? Well, listen, at the end of the day, our feelings don't matter, right? If the judge said that she is off the hook, she is off the hook. Here's the thing, and here's my thoughts on the entire situation. I used to be a huge fan of Erika Jayne before I found out all of this mess and all of this debacle. I mean, when you watch any given housewives show, you want to see the glam. You want to see the extra. I mean, that's what I watch for, to see things that I can't touch and feel myself and admire it. And you say to myself, one day I hope I can get there. So I love the fact that she had this glam scar. I love the fact that she used to always portray, before this all came down to where it was, she used to always portray that, her and her husband, they're good, they got a good relationship, they're in love, so forth and so on. She didn't start to change her wording and turn around the corner until this situation, and she filed for divorce in November of 2020. So in history from these housewives shows, unfortunately, we see with Teresa and Joe Giudice on The Real Housewives of New York, they both paid for their crimes. And maybe they both paid because they actually had evidence of Teresa signing paperwork for the loans and their whole situation. Maybe that's the reason, because they actually have physical evidence. But in this Tom Girardi and Erika Jayne situation, you can argue, if you're Erika Jayne's lawyer, that listen, she was a housewife, okay? I mean, literally. And, her husband gave her allowance, and she didn't have to question, nor did she care in a sense. Because listen, if you're married, if your husband gives you $100, $50, you're not going to ask him every time, well, where did you get this $50 from, honey? Where did you get this $100 from, honey? Where did you get this $1,000 from? You're just going to have fun, go spend it, and do what you do. So I guess in that sense, it was easy for Erika Jayne's attorneys to argue, listen, this was her husband. She trusted her husband. She didn't question him or ask him where this money came from every single second of the day. And no, that is not why she divorced them. She divorced him or filed for divorce for other reasons. I mean, that could have been and maybe was Erika Jayne's lawyer's argument. But either way, it came down. Her name is no longer attached to these suits that are going against her husband. And overall, how do I feel? What are my thoughts? What am I going to say? Well, listen, congratulations where, you need to congratulate somebody. So congratulations to Erika Jayne that she got off, that she's not going to be a part of this lawsuit. But on the flip side, I would say this. You now know, even if you didn't know before, you now know what your husband is being accused of. You now know that there are some victims out there that have suffered because they didn't get what was rightfully due to them, some funds from a class action lawsuit. You now know that some of these victims are orphans. You now know that some of them are burn victims. And you now know that some of them are widows. So in the name of, now that you know, when you know more, you do better. Okay? So in the name of that, and the more you know, the further you will grow. All of that right there. In the name of that, I would say, you know what? Thank you, Judge, and everyone else for not attaching me and my name to this particular lawsuit. However, this was my husband of 20 plus years. So what I'm going to do is, okay, even though I did not know, but now that I know what he did, you can have these diamond earrings worth $750 or $1.4 million, and whatever you can get to sell them for now, sell them and give them to the victims, or set up a fund for all of them. All of the clothing and everything that I received during this marriage, some of it I'm really attached to, some of it I really love, but I don't love it more than seeing somebody that was done wrong by someone I lived with most of my life, okay, now not being done right by. So in the name of doing right by them, you can take every pocketbook, you can take every shoe, you can take everything from that point back, okay? Now what I earn now and what I bought now, let's leave that alone. But everything I had during that marriage, you can take it, you can have an auction, you can sell it, and do right by these people. And again, thank you for not attaching my name to this lawsuit. because I didn't know. But now I do know, so y'all can have it. That's what I would do. So you let me know in the comments. Are you happy that Erika's name is not attached to this lawsuit now? And it doesn't matter whether we believe her or not, because I'm going to tell you, I may believe that she didn't know initially, but I'm in disbelief that she didn't find out sooner than when she wants to admit she did. I think when she found out, she was knee deep in the situation. She was so addicted and used to the lifestyle that she turned a blind eye and just didn't care. But now is the time to do a wrong right and give up everything that you have that can be sold and let them sell it in the auction and put it in whatever funds so they could divvy it up to all the people who were done dirty by what the thing they're accusing your husband of doing. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back, and I'll see you in the next video.